Good morning, Santa Clarita. Happy Friday, and welcome in. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi, and iLead Schools Eye on the Valley. I am your host, Matt Watson, and our show Eye on the Valley is brought to you by SCVi and iLead Charter Schools. We are a network of free public charter schools. That's right. All charter schools in California are completely tuition-free, funded the exact same way as your local district schools are. It is your option, your choice to find the best match in education for your children. And we at iLead have campuses on the west side of town in Castaic, on the east side of town in Agua Dulce, up north in Lancaster. We've also got a fully accredited online school. We've got a burgeoning home study program, and we've got an amazing alternative high school in Lancaster that you're going to hear a lot more about a little bit later on in the show, actually coming up here in just a couple minutes. But for more information about any of our schools and making sure that your child has the exact right fit for their own personalized education, visit us at iLeadschools.org. That is iLeadschools.org. So, we keep our eye on education here in Santa Clarita, Antelope Valley, and across the nation. But like the show says, we keep our eye on the Valley as well, bringing you everything that you need to know about what's what here in the Valley. And, we take a little time to goof and giggle and have a little bit of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun on today's show. I'm really excited about today's show. And, I'm excited about the time of year. Jen's wearing her pumpkin spice sweatshirt today. The temperature's starting to dip a little bit. We're only gonna get into the low 80s today. The dew point's a little bit higher. You can just smell that fall is in the air, and you can, in case the temperature isn't too obvious, you can tell because our baseball playoff picture is really tightening up. In fact, there's a lot that's been decided already. For example, the Dodgers clinched the National League West for, I think it's the 13th time in the last 14 years. Talk about a dynasty. Dodgers clinched yesterday against the Diamondbacks out there in Arizona, and they're heading up to Seattle for their final road trip, their final series of the season. The Blue Jays and the Tigers, though, who have been on a tear all year long, just kind of came out of nowhere. They were running away with their division and just putting a ton of distance between them and any other teams. But the Blue Jays and Tigers have just both absolutely melted down at the worst time of the year. With the Yankees now tied for first with the Blue Jays, the Guardians of Cleveland have now passed the Detroit Tigers for the division lead. So that's getting crazy. That'll be decided here in the last weekend of the season. And the National League wildcard race has really heated up, thanks in large part to hometown sensation Hunter Greene. Hunter is from Stevenson Ranch, and he has been absolutely on fire for the Cincinnati Reds. He's got the Reds breathing down the necks of the New York Mets for that final playoff spot in the National League. He'll be pitching this weekend and hoping to leapfrog the Mets and get his Reds back into the playoffs for the first time in what seems like 127 years. But it's only been, I don't know. Andrew, maybe you can get on that and figure out when the last time the Reds were in the playoffs was. It's been a long time, though, and man, he is just absolutely heating up. If it weren't for that injury mid-season, he would be a lock for that. Well, I don't know if he'd be a lock. Paul Skeens is pitching pretty well for the Pirates, but Hunter's been amazing again. Local Santa Claritian Hunter Greene willing his Cincinnati Reds to the playoffs. It's going to be an exciting weekend pretty much everywhere but in Seattle, where the Dodgers are going to be playing the Mariners. Both have clinched their divisions, and their spot is set. They'll most likely be resting a lot of their stars this weekend and just kind of getting ready for the playoffs that start next week. And you know what else is heating up? Like I said, today's show is going to be hot. It is going to be absolutely amazing. We've got a great show that producer Sarah's put together for you today. In just a moment, as I mentioned, we're going to be interviewing the new counselor at Empower Generations High School, Shirelle Gonzalez. She's bringing a fresh and exciting environment to the school. I was there just a couple days ago, and there really is a buzz. This is our first time having her on Eye on the Valley, and we're really excited about it. Then in hour number 2, we've got a mentalist coming in. That's right. His name is Allen Gittelson, and he'll be here in studio, so I'm excited about that. Allen is a mentalist who has gained quite a bit of notoriety here around town. He's performed at private parties, and he's got his own show here at the Main on Main Street in downtown Newhall. I've seen a portion of one of his performances, and it was, well, curious to say the least. The mind control that he seemed to have over this young lady was just absolutely incredible. So we'll see if, I don't know, maybe he can hypnotize me or somehow control me, maybe read Jen's mind while he's here, or, if I can read his mind. And I think he's excited about staying for trivia with Big T, if I can read his mind. But, yeah, for those of you who are new to the show, that's Big T is my big brother, Tony. And as a little brother, I'm not allowed to have nice things of my own. So Mom makes me share the radio show with him. So we'll see if we can get Allen, our mentalist, to hypnotize Tony, maybe to not be so annoying. We'll see. So either way, it's going to be a memorable show, or maybe we'll completely forget everything that we've lived in the last 48 hours. We will find out. It's going to be lots of fun. Let's go ahead and get started. As I said, my first guest today is the new college counselor at Empower Generations High School. Shirelle Gonzalez is affectionately known on campus as Miss Shirelle. Miss Shirelle brings over 7 years of experience in education to her role. Throughout her career, she has cherished the opportunity to interact with families and offer assistance to her learners. Ms. Shirelle is known for her approachability and willingness to help, qualities she attributes to her rich experiences working with individuals of diverse ages, cultures, religions, and family dynamics. Shirelle, welcome to Eye on the Valley.
Hello. Good morning, Matt. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's a pleasure to have you in. Shirelle, I mentioned, it's been 7 years, and you've had quite a variety of experience here in your career. So that experience has been really diverse. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about your career journey?
Yes. So I started in education about when I was like 18.
Oh, wow.
I was working in an after-school program, so I really worked my way up. It was called LA's Best.
Oh, yeah.
I worked there for about 6 years, and my students that I took care of, they were mainly first and kinder, and I really fell in love with it, with just everything, working in the school system, being with the littles all day, and just teaching them new things, being able to, take my experiences and really bring it to the program. So that's kind of how I got started.
Yeah, we love LA's Best. It's a great program. So, gosh, you've been in education since you were 18. What made you want to get into the educational field? And then what are some of the other roles that you've served in before you came to us at Empower Generations?
What kind of made me really want to get into education is I just fell in love with kids. I think I was kind of a kid at heart, and being around children just, made me feel full, I would say. So that really just kind of pushed me towards that. And I was heavy in sports at the time too. So okay. I really wanted to kind of find a way to take my talents and bring them back to the youth. So that's what kind of pushed me there. And some jobs that I've held before becoming a school counselor, I did do a day program for adults. So that I worked with one adult for about 5 years, and I helped him navigate his way through the community college system. So that was pretty cool to kind of see. I can say today he did end up getting his AA, and he's transferred on to a university this school year. So,
wow.
That was a little rewarding to kind of see that, working with him and pushing him through, through his education and seeing how successful he has been.
Wow. So you started out with kindergartners, you've worked with adults, and now you are the counselor at Empower Generations High School in Lancaster. So what brought you to Empower Generations? What ultimately brought you over to us?
I honestly fell in love with the overall mission and the vision of Empower Generations. I think the population, too, that we do serve, our pregnant and parenting youth, as well as some of our at-risk youth. And I just fell in love with everything that Empower brings to the table. Personally, if my mom was a teen parent, so I think that kind of had a special place in my heart here with Empower, and I felt the connection immediately. So, even with us allowing our students to be these self-directed leaders, I really did like that too. I feel like we really allow our students to kind of pick an educational path that really suits them.
Yeah, and you're right. Empower Generations was founded as a high school for pregnant and parenting teens, but we also serve teens that are dealing with other challenges in life that have made high school graduation and career preparation a little bit more of a challenge. But y'all are doing amazing things up there. For our listeners who aren't as familiar, can you explain in a little bit more depth what Empower Generations looks like and how you serve your learners?
So yeah, Empower Generations looks like, it kind of depends on what type of learner you are. So here at Empower Generations, we do have 3 learning options. We do have hybrid, which gives you the flexibility of being on campus and doing some days at home, as well as we have completely virtual learners. And then we have students that are on campus full day. So
Okay.
It really depends on where you're at. For the students that are on campus full day, we do offer some CTE pathways, so those career pathways, and, just exposing them to different things. And then for our virtual learners, that flexibility allows them to kind of go about their day how they wish. It really allows them to kind of map out their education in a way that fits them.
Yeah, and that's what we're all about, not just at Empower Generations, but all 6 of our iLead schools, about individualizing the educational experience to meet the needs of the kids. And yeah, this population that you work with, some of them do need to be on campus every day. Some of them need to be out there working a regular 9 to 5, and so they need that remoteness, and others get there when they can. So it's great to be able to have that. It's an independent study program, but like I said, I was on campus just a couple days ago and just absolutely love the way you and the rest of the Empower team meet the needs of these young folks working to get their high school diploma and prepare for college and career. Being a little bit different of a high school program, right? It's not your traditional 4,000 kids on one campus. It's a much smaller campus, and kids are able to get that individualized attention. But it is a bit of a different high school program. What do you enjoy most about working there, Shirelle?
I think you hit it on the dot when you said we're not such a big school. Like, it's not 4,000 students. It's really personal. I feel like we're an intimate group as far as I know all my families. I interact with all my students pretty regularly, and I feel like that makes a difference. It allows for the connection to kind of foster between myself and the parents on campus. So I think that's the biggest part that I do enjoy, being able to kind of know all the children that I do serve.
Yeah, and that relationship is really important when building a high quality individualized education. You know your kids, you know their families, and you're just really able to connect with them. It is absolutely beautiful. Shirelle Gonzalez is the high school counselor at Empower Generations Charter High School. When we get back, we'll talk about what a day in the life of a student at Empower Generations looks like, as well as how they're preparing their learners for college and career, and much more. You stay tuned. I'm Matt Watson, and this is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. You're listening to your hometown station, KHTS. Happy Friday and welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson. You are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. And I'm joined this morning by Shirelle Gonzalez. She is the high school counselor at Empower Generations Charter High School. Empower Generations, like all charter schools in California, is a free public high school. Yes, free. And why do I stress that so hard? Because every one of our schools focuses on individualized learning. We are providing you with that private school experience at a public school that is free price. So yeah, Empower Generations is a free public high school serving pregnant and parenting and other at-risk teens, located on Avenue 10 West in Lancaster. Shirelle, again, we're real grateful for you joining us today. So why don't you tell us what a week, you were talking before the break about how unique Empower Generations is, how some of your learners are remote, some of them are hybrid, and some of them are on campus full time. So what does it look like? What does a typical week look like for a student at Empower Generations High School?
Yeah, so Matt, I guess for our learners that are completely on campus, what it looks like for them is as you mentioned before, we are independent. We are independent studies. So in the morning, we do offer our tours. We have our workshops in the morning, and then towards as the day progresses, we do have some. We do have some intervention, so we do offer intervention courses for kids to kind of help them improve in their math and their reading, as well as their writing. And on campus, we do have some clubs, too, that do take place during that time. Right now, we have leadership that is planning all of our events for our campus, as well as our advisory, that's social emotional learning. And then towards the end of the day, we do have those CTEs, those career pathways. And right now, we do have two of them. We have an early childhood education and a audio and video production course as well.
Fantastic. Yeah. And I know y'all work really hard to provide not only things that are engaging kids and making them excited about coming to school, but stuff that's going to prepare them for college and career. We'll get to that in just a minute. But I've talked several times, and so have you, about that individualized learning where you're really not teaching large groups of students. You're teaching each individual. And a huge part of that process is the ILP process. That is the individualized learning plan process. You guys are in full swing right now. Can you share with our listeners what an individualized learning plan is and why are they such an important part of the way that we guide our learners?
Yeah, so Matt, an individualized learning plan is basically a plan that we create as a team. Our learners create with our guides as well as their families, and it's where we highlight our strengths and our challenges of the learner, as well as the students make the two obtainable like SMART goals and a social emotional goal that we kind of track throughout the year. So, it's recognizing where students are at and where the areas that they want to improve, as well as where they would like to get to. So I can be biased, but I think it's a better version of how we kind of do we do our parent-teacher conferences per se, and just, holding our students accountable into improving each year.
Yeah, you mentioned the parent-teacher conferences. I always found that curious how some of the most powerful conversations that are had on school campuses are had without students, right? When the parent and the teacher sit down and they talk about what the student needs to work on and where they need to improve and where their strengths are. And most of the time, the kid's not even in the room. It's like having a personal trainer develop goals and talk about the progress of your physical training without ever sharing that stuff with you. And so, yeah, we incorporate the learner, and especially at the high school level, it's great as kids are starting to get an idea of where they're heading post-graduation and starting to talk about, okay, what do I need to work on? What do I need to improve in order to get me to where my sights are set? So, yeah, it's an important part of that process, and I know y'all come back and you review those goals and just really help prepare, again, that individual learner. So Empower Generations High School has a lot of community partnerships. I know that building those community partnerships with other organizations in town is a really important part of supporting your students, right? Can you talk to us about some of those community partnerships that y'all have engaged in?
Yeah. So Matt, we have obviously we have a few community partnerships, but some of the few that really help us on campus here that are incorporated kind of in our CTE pathways are we have the Let It Out program as well as Go Above. They come in for our video and audio production CTE, and they kind of teach the kids different aspects of whether it's music or cameras, video, things like that. And right now I know Go Above is actually working on getting our students, our learners, some certifications in Photoshop and other stuff like that. So they can, they can take these things that they're learning in high school and apply it into their lives outside of school.
And I absolutely love that. You mentioned the phrase CTE. That is short for Career Technical Education. That's something that schools over the last maybe 4 or 5 years have really caught on to, that we need to be preparing kids for careers before they head into their careers, because, that whole paradox of you can't get a job without experience, but you can't get experience without a job. We're kind of knocking down those walls. And those community partnerships that you just talked about obviously are supporting the CTE, the Career Technical Education Pathways. So can you tell us a little bit more about what it looks like? What are some of the careers that I know you touched on them already, but what are some of the careers that you're preparing kids for at Empower Generations? What are some of those pathways that you offer?
So the one that I just mentioned, that audio and video production, that career pathway is really teaching students how to tap into their creative. So the students are learning how to use professional cameras. I know we're about to get a whisper room built in the back. So for
cool.
students that are interested in music, like video, audio production, whether it's creating their own beat or producing things like that. So it's really it's a really cool program. I know the kids are loving being able to use these different devices and learn the ins and outs of them. And then the other CPE that we do have is the Early Childhood Education CPE, which we're actually in connection with ABC. So we do have our learners taking some courses with ABC, and the hopes are when they finish the 2 years of this CPE that they will be certified to work in a licensed daycare facility at a little bit more reasonable pace. So we're really preparing our students and our learners for careers that meet their needs or their interests and things like that.
Okay, so you mentioned you're working in partnership with AVC, that is Antelope Valley College, and I love that they're getting that connection. And again, it's an easy step from there to move and continue their education into college. But then you're also, like you said, preparing them for careers in childcare and perhaps teaching. I love the audio video pathway, especially being here so close to the the center of the entertainment world, right? Those are going to build some great experiences as they move into careers in that field. So exciting that you're preparing kids for those types of careers. Now, when we last spoke with Empower Generations here on Eye on the Valley, we spoke with your colleague David, who is he's an amazing community liaison there at Empower Generations. And David let us know about this growing partnership with Antelope Valley College. Can you tell us, are there a lot of your learners that are already taking those courses while they're still in high school? And why is that a benefit to have your kids enrolled both in community college as well as high school?
So I think one of the benefit is with our learners being able to take college courses while in high school is it's preparing them it's making them college and career ready, right? It's giving them some exposure to college beforehand. And I think one of the number one things is, getting our students to understand that, they can go to college. So, yes, we do currently have a handful of students that are taking some dual enrollment classes with Antelope Valley College. One of the things that I really like about this is it's really geared towards getting our students interested that may have never thought about college. And I can successfully say that we have a few students that, at first they were like, I'm never going to college. I don't see it as a fit for me. And they're doing great in the class. So, and it's actually boosted their confidence to keep going and look into college and what they can do after high school. I would also say one of the benefits of taking some dual enrollment classes are being able to earn, that college credit as well as high school credit. I don't know if you're aware, but some of the classes are able to knock out some of our requirements here for a high school diploma. So yeah. I think that's always good for the kids.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. We have 6 schools, and there's always something going on. But hands down, my favorite event to attend every single school year is the Empower Generations High School, because you hear all those testimonies, Shirelle, where kids will talk about, when I first showed up at Empower Generations, college wasn't even on the radar. I was just trying to get my high school diploma, and I didn't even think that was a possibility. But here I am, I'm about to graduate, and this is the college that I'm going on to after graduation. It's just so inspiring. You're right. It helps shift minds and let kids know that, yeah, you can do it. You're strong, you're smart, you're powerful, you can do this. So I love that you're just helping open up the possibilities for all the different kids at Empower Generations High School. Shirelle, we mentioned again that the mission and vision for Empower Generations is to meet the needs of pregnant and parenting, as well as other at-risk youth, kids that have struggled for a myriad of reasons to complete high school. But y'all are not just helping them complete high school, you're helping them prepare for those amazing futures beyond high school. Shirelle, I know we're about, gosh, do you believe it? It's almost... well, it's a little bit more than a full month into the school year. Are you all still enrolling, or folks that are interested, would they need to wait until the semester break next year? And if so, how can people get more information on your school?
All right, Matt, that's a great question. So right now we are currently only taking virtual learners. Unfortunately, our CTEs are full this fall.
Okay.
So we are taking virtual learners, as well as hybrid for some of our students. So, and if people are interested and want to find out more information, they can go to our website, empowergenerations.org.
Absolutely. And again, that is empowergenerations.org. They are still taking applications for certain portions of the program. And then even if you do, you are excited about one of those CTE programs, I would encourage you to get your application in now, because when a spot does open up, then boom, you would bump right into that. Again, that is empowergenerations.org. Shirelle Gonzalez, high school counselor at Empower Generations Charter High School. One more time, for more information or to fill out that application, go to empowergenerations.org. Shirelle, thanks so much for joining us. You knocked it out of the park today. We really appreciate it. Have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for having me. You too.
You take care. I am Matt Watson. You are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. We'll be right back. I read a curious case in the news yesterday that I want to share with you. This one really made me giggle. We'll be back on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. I am your host, Matt Watson, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. We just had a great conversation with Shirelle Gonzalez. She is the high school counselor at Empower Generations Charter High School up on Avenue 10 West in Lancaster. And gosh, like I said, I was up there with my team just a couple days ago, and there's very little that I do for a living that I love more than visiting Empower Generations. It's just such a heartwarming experience to be on their campus. They are our center for pregnant and parenting teens and other at-risk youth, and just kids that will come into our front door thinking, this is kind of, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to complete high school, but I need a different type of environment. And, within a semester or two, their hopes, their visions have just completely done a 360, and kids just preparing for college and career and getting back on track. It's an amazing experience, and just to feel the connection, the relationships, and how everybody's just working together to grow together and meet their needs and goals is absolutely amazing.
Well, it's funny, Matt. I was kind of laughing at myself listening to your interview, and I thought, wow, well, somebody is kind of, behind the eight ball, if you will. Maybe they are pregnant teen, parenting, that kind of thing.
Right. Helping their own parents raise younger siblings. Yeah.
Sure. How do they afford that? And then I thought, oh, wait, they don't have to worry about that. What a great opportunity. Somebody ends up pregnant before maybe they planned it,
yep.
Maybe a little bit too young to be able to handle parenting and education, and they don't have to worry about that, setting them back. They still have a chance to get ahead in life. That's really great.
And we've got students that just for whatever reason have fallen behind on credits.
Sure.
Other kids where, a large, like I said, 3,000, 4,000 kids on campus is intimidating or otherwise distracting, or we've got several kids that need to work, as I mentioned, a full 9-to-5 job, and the regular 9-to-3 high school just doesn't meet their needs. And so it's just kids that have different needs and are really a good match. Again, check them out at empowergenerations.org. Coming up in hour number 2, I'm really excited about this one, a little bit nervous. We've got a mentalist coming in, and his name is Allen Gittelson. He's actually got his own show coming up here on Main Street at the Maine, and he's a mentalist, and so he specializes in kind of knowing what you're going to do before you do it, not controlling your mind, but knowing what you're thinking before you do, sort of. So, Alan will be in here during the second hour. And so, I'm a little bit nervous about that. I'm also a little bit nervous about something else. We wrap up the show with Big T every week, and I say that Mom doesn't let me have nice things of my own. She makes me share my radio show with my big brother. But Big T usually clocks in by about 8:30 every morning. He hasn't clocked in yet. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. We've written him up twice for being late already, and we just haven't heard from him this morning. I would dock his salary, but we don't pay him anything.
No.
So
maybe that's why he's MIA.
Right, exactly. If they're not paying me, I'd show up when I please. But he's got about an hour to get here. But I know he needs to be warming up. So, I was reading the news. I enjoy, every afternoon when I get out of work, I like to sit, relax, read the news, maybe have a little frosty beverage. And I was reading an interesting story in the local news yesterday that, the initial headline, I thought, okay, yeah, that happens, but that's not really a news story. But then I read into it a little bit further. It appears that a man in town was arrested on charges of, among other things, utility theft. But utility theft was the crime that made the headline. Stealing someone else's utilities, right? And it just really caught my attention. So before we get into what this guy did, because not only was that almost like burying the headline because he got busted for some pretty serious crimes as well, but the initial crime was utility theft. And what he did was kind of interesting, maybe creative. Before we get into that, Jen, have you ever been the victim of, or maybe even the perpetrator of utility theft?
Not to my knowledge, no.
You're right, and that's one of the things, and that's one of the biggest reasons that it's a crime, is it's one of those things that can happen without you knowing about it, and it can cost you money. I have not either. I did. Okay, I will say it. He was a friend. I did have a friend who was celebrating the fact that how clever he was.
Was it Big T?
No, it was not Big T. It was not Big T. No, this truly was. It was an old high school friend, and he was bragging one day. This is probably about 25 years ago, about how he figured out how to tap into his neighbor's cable television. And his neighbor had the full package, and so he stole his neighbor's cable TV for years. This is, one of those kind of friends, right? You hang out with them when you're young because they're funny, and then once you get a little older, you have a family. It's like, I don't know if I want the kids around this guy anymore.
You hit 25 years old, and you're like, you're not really an actual adult.
I don't know if he ever got caught, but he did. He just kind of plugged into his neighbor's cable television, and he says, it's not hurting him. He's paying for what he's getting, and I'm getting what he's paying for too. It's great, and he figured it was a victimless crime. But it got me wondering, how many utilities can you steal? Like, when we talk about our utilities, there's cable. We just talked about that. And there's electricity. So I guess you could, if you're sneaky enough, you can plug into your neighbor's house and get them to power some of your stuff, save a little bit of money that way. I guess I was, we'll tell a story about somebody that I know who stole somebody else's electricity once. That was actually kind of funny, if we can get there. There's water. Water's a utility. And if utility theft is a crime, I guess I've got a pretty lengthy rap sheet when it comes to stealing other people's water. Because, as a kid, I'm a Gen Xer, Jen, and growing up around town, when you got thirsty, man, you just went over to the neighbor's hose and took a sip.
Oh, there's nothing like that. Yeah.
Right?
Now you're not supposed to do that. That's not fun anymore.
Apparently, it's utility theft. So gas is a utility. I don't know how you would steal somebody's gas.
Yeah, that seems a little more involved.
A little bit more conspicuous than tapping into their electricity, right? You can run an extension cord, but it does seem a little involved. The sewer system is a utility. I got no clue. I'm out on that one. How I don't know.
I don't know if you would want to figure out how to do that. It
Right.
seems a little.
I don't know. Maybe if your
messy.
cousin Eddie and your
Yeah.
your thing is full and you're dumping into the neighbor's line.
Don't
I
light
don't
a
know.
match. Yeah.
Right. And then this one is easy to understand. Another utility is trash and recycling services. So you can understand, go over, my barrels are full. I'll just go across the street and
use the neighbor.
dump
Yeah.
into yours because yours seem empty. So, but believe it or not, friends, that's a crime. Don't do it. You can go to jail like this guy did. Yes, for dumping your trash in your neighbor's bin, you can go to jail just like this guy who got arrested this week. He was a little bit more creative. The original crime was utility theft. So check this out. I'm just going to read the first paragraph of the story. A man was... let me back up. Let me start again. Come on, Watson. Get ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Here we go. A man was arrested on suspicion of utility theft and burglary after Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station's deputies found him soaking wet, just exiting the shower of a residence on the 25,900 block of Sardinia Court in Valencia Tuesday night, according to officials with the station. Now, from there, he went on to get himself into some really deep trouble when he took a swing at the cops. But I've never considered saving money on my water bill by showering at the neighbor's place.
Well, times are tough. So maybe he prefers very long showers, and he knows that he can't afford his 25-minute long shower.
I guess,
He's thinking ahead.
Guys like us, when you've got enough real estate to cover, a shower can take a while.
Maybe.
So, he just popped over to the neighbor's house to take a shower. Unfortunately for him, the neighbors were home and called the cops, and they caught him wet-handed. So... Yeah, just
imagine seeing somebody. You never know who's living next to you. That's the trouble.
Until you get to know them a little too well.
Until they're in your shower.
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned, that I did have a story about electricity theft. But it was actually kind of a funny one. My dad had a neighbor that lived next door to him for years, and they would prank each other all the time. For example, I remember this was a guy who kind of had one of those inset porches, so even with the porch light on, the front of his house was still a little bit dark, and so he bought like 4 or 5 of the spotlights to just kind of really light up his house, make things a little bit safer out front, and things like that, and so he went on vacation one year, and the lights are automatic, right? They're on the timer. He went on vacation one year, and Dad replaced all those spotlights with red lights. Okay. So, the lights would go on at night and it would light up all red and make it look like,
something else, yeah.
A house of ill repute.
Not Halloween time.
So that was funny. That was harmless, right?
That's fine, yeah.
But then, so the following year, this guy decides to get my dad back. Now, the two of them, they would always have a race, right? It was this competition to see who could get their Christmas lights up first. Now, you were not allowed to put the lights up before midnight the morning of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving marked when you were allowed to put your lights up, but that's when the clock started, and whoever could get them up first was the winner. And for whatever reason, things that stupid old men do, they made fun of each other, when they got their lights up. Well, Dad decided to throw the race this year, and he let Frank, the next door neighbor, get the lights up first. And then as soon as he got the lights up, he came over to brag and then went back in his backyard to have, his cup of iced tea and bask in his Christmas decoration
Christmas light glory. Mm-hmm.
And Dad walked over with the extension cord plugged into his lights and then put up his own lights.
I thought you were going to say he switched out all of the bulbs to pink or purple.
No, but remember we were
Christmassy.
talking about utility theft,
Yeah.
right? So Dad thought that he was really clever, just plugging into Frank's lights. And, Frank didn't notice until he took down his lights in January. So,
my God.
He paid for Dad's Christmas lights the entire season that year. I thought that was kind of funny. But it's not funny. It's a crime.
Well,
So-
you think about all the streaming services have been cracking down on password sharing.
So that
Netflix, very famously, is not interested in you sharing it with people outside of your home. So
absolutely, and Amazon is setting up packages where if you want to share with people outside of your home, this is how much it's going to cost. And
oh, that's right. Is
Yeah.
that through the Prime
through their Prime, yeah, you can
package as well?
You
Yeah.
can have a Prime family membership, and as a matter of fact, I found out about that one when my son called me panicked. Dad, they're gonna cut me out of your Prime account. So yeah, don't steal your neighbor's utility, friends. Don't plug into their electricity. Don't dump into their garbage cans or their sewer system. And certainly, do not, no matter how long of a shower it's going to be, do not head over to your neighbor's house and take a shower. At least not without a proper invitation. So yeah, I enjoyed the news. And, we've got some other interesting news here on hometownstation.com. That's right. Head on over to the KHTS website for all of your news and community updates at hometownstation.com. Dutch Brothers is coming to Santa Clarita.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. We've got a Starbucks on every corner here in town. But have you ever had Dutch Brothers coffee? It is really, really good. And the prices are about the same as Starbucks.
Okay.
Great
Are they
coffee.
mostly north of us right now? Is that kind of where they
I believe
started?
so. I've had Dutch Brothers in Northern California, in Oregon, in Washington, but we've got one coming to Canyon Country now. They've been an approved location to set up a Dutch Brothers hut, and most Dutch Brothers that I know of, they're drive-throughs, as well as you can walk into, but it's going to be built next to the McDonald's there in Canyon Country. Which McDonald's in Canyon Country? I think there's a couple. I don't know. We got a Dutch Brothers coming to Canyon Country soon,
And
then,
Starbucks, I just saw the headline. I didn't
no,
dig
right ahead.
deeper. They're closing a couple of locations, which to their, quote unquote population of how many stores they have, it's probably a drop in the coffee mug, but they are closing a few spots I've seen.
they're
so,
closing a few locations and laying some people off.
Yeah.
So Starbucks is in the process of contracting a little bit, and I wonder if I would have to check those stocks. I wonder if Dutch Brothers is responsible for soaking up some of that market. I know there's some craft coffee places
Right.
that are taking some of the business, like Honu and what's the other one?
It's
There's,
a coffee kiosk right
yeah.
down on Lyons here.
Brilliant business idea.
Yeah.
Don't get out of your car, just drive right on through. But so there's some folks pushing into Starbucks monopoly here in the coffee business. Alrighty, folks, when we get back, we've got a huge treat for you. You're not going to want to miss it. Mentalist Allen Gittelson will be joining us. This is going to be really fun. Stay tuned. I'm Matt Watson. You are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you are listening to SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley. I am really excited about our next guest. I've seen a little bit of his work before, and it absolutely blew my mind. He is Allen Gittelson, a mentalist who has gained tremendous local notoriety for his talent. I watched an episode of SCVi TV recently where he seemed to take control of Carrie Lujan's hand movements, and it freaked me out. Carrie absolutely lost her mind. He's got a show in town that you can go to experience his talents in person. Allen Gittelson, welcome to Eye on the Valley.
Thank you so much, Matt. Glad to be here.
So glad you're here with us. So thank you for joining us in studio today. I know that makes the experience, for us and hopefully our listeners just all that more exciting. Can you share with our listeners about your upcoming show at the Main?
Absolutely. It's going to be a week from tonight. It's going to be on October 3rd, right here at the Main, about an 80-seat theater here in Santa Clarita. I'm sure Santa Claritans know.
Yeah.
And this show is a new show for me called The Gray Area.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm a mentalist, so the things that I will do will look like mind reading or mind control, like you mentioned with Carrie Lujan from SCVi TV. And it may feel like surreal or psychedelic, but it's really all about connection and connecting people to each other, and for me to connect with the people too.
Wow, interesting. And there's the connection with what we do at iLead. Of course, we're educators, and what makes that that experience magical, if you will, is that connection, right?
Absolutely.
So interesting. How long have you been performing, Alan?
I have been performing as a mentalist for about 25 years now.
Oh, wow.
It's just looking at the calendar, and yeah, I started like really doing this seriously about 1999.
Okay. And so what caused that shift? What made you decide, hey, I want to be a professional mentalist?
Wow, good question, Matt. Really, for me, what happened is when I grew up listening to stories from my mom telling me about what was going on in our family. So it was very personal for me. So my grandfather, my mom's dad, was a long-haul truck driver. He would be gone from the house for months at a time, and they didn't know where he was or when he would be back. You know, a long time before the internet and cell phones and all that. Even a long-distance phone call was very prohibitively priced, and it's expensive. So he would be gone for months at a time. They didn't know where he is, and his mother, my great-grandmother, would call the house and say, I want to talk to Sammy. Put Sammy on the phone. That was my grandfather's name. And my mom, for example, on the phone would say, well, he's not here. He's not home, and we don't know when he'll be home. He's not here at all. She said, no, put Sammy on the phone. I want to talk to Sammy. And at that moment, my grandfather, Sammy, would pull into the driveway.
Oh, my Lord.
And I grew up hearing about that story, and that sort of thing happened all the time. Between my grandfather and his mother, my great-grandmother.
Okay.
So that, really made a much younger me wonder, what is that? Is that something, what other things are like that?
Yeah, Grandma has psychic powers, yeah.
Yeah, that's just so weird. So I was always on the lookout for, I wanted to have those sorts of experiences myself.
Okay.
And as I searched for those types of experiences, I became the person who can give people those experiences. And in 1999, really, or around that time, I came into contact with a friend of mine, Joe, who made me aware of this area of things called mentalism, and I just dove headfirst into that because I had read a lot of stuff. I had seen a lot of weird shows on TV, everything from like a psychic transmissions and remote viewing and Bigfoot and Nessie and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's all that like weird paranormal bucket of stuff.
Sure.
And I started working on these things, and I learned more about what it is and this the art form of mentalism and the techniques. And I'm interested in abilities, like what can people do and what could people do, like what might people be able to do, because there's so many mysteries in life, and most of the mysteries of life we'll never know the answers to, and that's okay. But it's great to explore, and I love science and all that. But also, I think one of the messages from one of the sort of subtextual messages of mentalism is that it's okay to not know how everything works and to not know everything in that, if we had to know everything, we wouldn't be able to survive. We would be locked and frozen in like constant analysis. Like if I see somebody walking on the other side of the street, like does the right side of their body exist? I can't see it. I'm making an assumption. I make an assumption every moment. I'm not going to fall into the floor right here. It's not going to give way. It normally doesn't. It probably won't. But there are all kinds of assumptions we make in every moment of our lives, and that's what helps keep us sane. So.
Well, they are doing construction right next door, so I think our chances are just slightly higher. But
yes.
So this brings up an interesting idea. So is this mentalism, what you do, is that more of a gift that some people just have it and others don't, or is it something that's learned? Do you feel that you've inherited this talent from your great-grandmother, or more learned it from folks like your friend Joe?
I would say that I don't feel that there's anything that was inherited or anything other than like the genes of and the being around my grandfather, because I never got to meet my great grandmother. She
Right.
was so many
Sure,
years
sure.
before
It's
me.
several generations.
But yeah, absolutely. But it's mostly a learn. So I have
Okay.
his outgoing. Somewhat outgoing and friendly, funny, silly sort of personality. I'm good with people
Right.
in general, but that as far as the skill of reading people, we are all reading each other all the time and being read by each other all the time.
Interesting.
That's
Okay.
kind of, I believe that's our secret language. We don't have any formal training about that, but
Right.
that's something we're doing all the time. But I am tuned into that a bit more, and I use skills like that to read people, and I use every technique that's at my disposal, and a lot of psychology in what I do as well.
Interesting. Now that you're talking about it, I equate it to something that I actually was taught a little bit in my master's program called phenomenology, and it was just kind of those unspoken ways that humans interact, right? And like you're doing a little bit of it right now with your eyebrows. You're asking for a little bit more information and that kind of thing, and it's I've used it mostly in job interviews to get folks to say
Right.
more about themselves. So yeah, but. So you've got your show coming up. I believe it opens October 2nd.
October 3rd.
October 3rd, excuse me.
It's, yeah, next week.
At the Main.
At the
and
Main,
and what I love about their website is it's at the Main. And so folks can get tickets there?
Atthemain.org.
Yes,
atthemain.org.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks
Perfect.
so much.
So folks buy tickets at atthemain.org.
Right.
And what can they expect during your show, The Gray Area?
Well, the gray area is kind of, things that are not necessarily super clearly defined, but things will look like mind reading. So I'm going to send thoughts to the audience, like I usually will open with sending some thoughts directly to everybody. The audience is very interactive. It's immersive. Come to the show and participate. You're going to have fun. So the audience is going to be reading me. You're good at that. Just assume that.
All right.
And we'll have a lot of fun. And I'm going to be reading members of the audience as well, including sending some thoughts to them silently. And you can see people usually in real time, like responding to things that I'm sending them, whether I'm trying to make physical contact with them remotely or send them a thought or have them send me a thought. They can ask questions in their mind about some topic that's important to them about their lives.
Okay.
Things like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, it's not telepathy and it's not manipulation. It's suggestion, kind of that space in between.
I will say that people ask me all the time, Alan, are you psychic?
Yes.
And I say, I don't consider myself psychic. I don't have any paranormal abilities. But I don't think that anybody could tell the difference between myself and somebody who makes a claim like that.
Yeah.
So to your regular person, I'm pretty much like a psychic,
Yeah,
or the closest that they'll ever come to
appearance.
that.
Sure, sure. It's interesting. I had a friend who was a psychic, and they got laid off from their job, and I thought, wow, you probably should have seen that coming.
Right, it could
Right?
be, but and that's an interesting aspect of it, because there are, mentalism is about like powers of the mind or abilities of the mind. So there's memory. Some people might claim a power of being able to see in the future, or for me, it's all about reading people and being read by people, and using those abilities to influence and be influenced. Because actually, as you said, like we're all like aware of each other all the time, and we read each other's body language, like you mentioned, using it in an interview, and that when we can just like be present in the moment in our bodies, that we can go along with those things and be influenced by those things and see and be in touch with how other people in the space with us are feeling in that moment. Not necessarily delving deep into the inner recesses of their minds, but we can have idea about how a person's feeling, generally speaking.
Sure, and it's stuff that we're not always aware of. You said we're constantly reading each other all the time, but we're not always cognitive that we're doing it or what it is exactly that we're doing it. It's just, I get this feeling that, you want to say something else, or I get this feeling that you're not comfortable, that kind of thing.
Yes,
Interesting.
absolutely. Most of the decisions that we make, people think that they make those decisions with their rational, conscious mind. But actually, most of our decisions, perhaps all of our decisions, are made with our subconscious mind just slightly before we think we are making them with our conscious mind. And then our conscious mind rationalizes based on what our feelings are.
There's so many different layers to this. It's absolutely fascinating. So again, your show, The Gray Area, opens October 3rd at the Main here on Main Street. And I've been to the Main before. It's a great space. It's a small, intimate space. Does that kind of venue add to the experience that your show puts together?
Yes, very much,
Bet.
Matt. I love the Main in particular and spaces of that size because, when it's a huge stage and, there's tons of people out in the audience, hundreds of people there, maybe in dining room tables like a corporate event or things like that I work too, is that it's harder to be like directly in contact with the people. So the Main is just the right size. So I can bring a bunch of people up on stage or one person up on stage and work with them, but I can still see some of the people like in the front rows from the lighting, and I can do some smaller intimate things in that same space because even the back row is only about 9 rows back.
Sure.
And it's pretty bright there on stage, and I can hear them if they chuckle or whatever, even without a mic. Even if I don't have a microphone, they could hear me. But we use it to help out.
So that frequency, if you will, is a lot stronger in those smaller events, and I'm sure those folks will get a lot better show out of it as well.
Yeah. You can hear the that sort of a stuff, the quiet, amazed sounds that people make.
Sure, as a performer, I'm sure that's very satisfying. Now, producer Sarah, who spoke with you prior, she told me that you have a unique skill, and she really wanted to suggest this. Not a very good trait for a teacher to have such a poor memory. I was constantly forgetting my students' names, and that's not okay, right? Because somebody's name is important to them. And working with Sarah, she gets frustrated all the time because it seems like every sentence that I start with her was, Sarah, remind me, what was the... I'm constantly forgetting. She says that you can help me with my memory?
Absolutely. I use memory techniques all the time in my life and in my performing life. And if you could remind me about how much time we have to cover the memory thing, because we can talk about
Jen, we've probably got about 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
We can go to break here if you want right now, and then come back. It's up to you, Matt.
I tell you what, is it something you can do in 2 or 3 minutes?
Probably a few more minutes.
All right, well then let's go ahead and go to break,
and
and we'll bring Engineer Andrew as well, because I know he wants to play with us. And so we'll go to a quick break, and we will come back with Mentalist Allen Gittelson. I am Matt Watson. This is SCVi, and I lead Schools Eye on the Valley. You're listening to your hometown station, KHT. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is Matt Watson, and you are listening to SCVi, and I lead Schools Eye on the Valley. And there is a real buzz here in the studio this morning. Alan, I don't know if you've started your act already, or if it's just the excitement that the rest of us here in the studio have brought in, knowing the different things that you're capable of. We're talking this morning with Mentalist Allen Gittelson. And Alan, before the break, you said you can help us improve our memory, and then during those commercial breaks, Engineer Andrew, who's now joining us in the studio, Engineer Jen, and I gave you a list of shopping items, a rather eclectic shopping list that you frantically wrote down during the commercial break. So how is it that you're able to help us improve our memory? How are you going to use that list?
I thought we talk about memory, let's make it practical. When you talk about memory, you want to make it into little chunks of things that you can do that are practical, that you can do right now to put things into your memory and keep them in there. And really, all memory is about association. So when you are putting something into your memory, something new, and you're going to place it at a specific location, and that location, if you will, is something that is already in your mind. So if I said a word, like I said a 2x4 board, what you would have some associations with that,
Sure.
right? Like what comes to your mind?
I chucked one at my brother once when I was 7 years old.
There you go.
Of course you
exactly.
did.
Yes, I did.
Exactly. That's very comforting, sitting very close.
You're going to meet
you.
my brother in a little bit, and you'll understand why.
Okay, so like if I asked you a day later about that, you would say, "Oh yeah, I remember remembering that my brother chucked a 2x4 at me
It
much
brings
earlier
up
in
that
life,"
experience,
and it
yeah.
would bring that. So it's connected to something that's already in your mind. So
Okay.
what we're going to do as a little fun exercise, and anybody who's listening can do this as well, even if you're driving. Although of course, pay attention if you're driving. That's number one. Is that we're going to have a brief list of things from 1 to 10, because we have a little weird grocery list
Yes.
of items from 1 to 10. Many items I've never put on some items I've never put on my grocery list, and I'm not even sure what they are. Is that at least one of them? Is that we're going to put them with a list of things that we already know. So we're going to have sort of our peg list, the place that we can hang things on in our memory. And those today, just to make it simple for everybody, we're going to do a rhyming one. So we're going to rhyme with numbers 1 to 10.
All right.
So 1 is sun. So think of, imagine, just literally picture in your mind a big bright sun. And our first grocery item, number 1, is artichoke. So
That doesn't rhyme, Alan.
no, it's not that we have to make
Okay.
the items rhyme, but the
I
number
see.
items are going to rhyme. So like 1 is sun, 2 is shoe, 3 is tree, 4 is door, 5 is hive.
I see.
Things like that. So we're going to make an action picture with our things on our list. So
Okay.
we're going to take the thing that's on our list, sun, at number 1, and we're going to we're going to have that sun perform an action on the item. So artichoke. So in this case, we're going to have the sun have its bright, big, just for me, you can make your own associations if those are something that comes to you more easily. But really for me, I'm picturing a bright sun, that sun that you see like just the eyes, a little smiley face. And I'm going to see it getting sort of an evil grin and really, really bright, and see it artichoke. And that it's like catching the green skin of the artichoke on fire, that it's so hot. And it's like opening up that sort of flowering shape of the artichoke.
Okay.
And so I really picture the sun like burning open the artichoke. Okay, so picture that. Really take a moment, anybody who's listening, and including those in the studio, and picture that in your mind. Okay?
All right.
All right, so that's the basic technique, and we'll apply that for each item. So then number 2. 2 is a shoe. And we got coffee creamer. So for me, coffee creamers come in those little, usually they're like in this, you can get a bunch at the grocery store, like you can get a big container of it. But I'm going to picture one of those little small containers you might get at a coffee shop.
Okay.
And they're kind of like fragile. So the shoe is stepping on that coffee creamer, and the coffee creamer comes splashing out.
Yeah.
Pop!
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do it.
There you go.
Right, just like that.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of a satisfying feeling
it
under
is
your foot.
it's
Yeah.
fun. Let's make it fun as long as we're
Yes.
stepping on coffee creamer with our minds, right? That this is part of the power of your mind.
All right.
And that we see that, and it's a mess. It's a mess all over
it
the
is.
place over the front of your shoe. So just really visualize that for a moment. And then number 3 is a tree, and Matt, you said you need to get a 6-pack of beer. So tree, I'm gonna really make this tree like kind of anthropomorphize the tree, make it into a person, and we're gonna see this tree. Tree is like, I don't know, like is it Wizard of Oz? They have those trees that
Oh,
kinda
yeah, that we're
come
grabbing
alive.
onto 'em, yeah.
And this Wizard of this tree that's come to life has a big 6-pack, like a really giant like 6-pack,
Oh,
but it's
yeah,
not
he's got
muscles.
those-
Ripped tree.
It's not muscles. It's beer.
All right.
And the beer is really strong, and it's like grabbing its own 6-pack and like
Yeah.
crushing the cans and bringing them up to its mouth and
See,
drinking the
Delgado,
beer.
I told you I had
Yep.
6-pack
There it
abs.
is.
Right? There it is. Exactly. More incentive for you
right.
there. So picture that 6-pack of beer. The tree is drinking its own 6-pack.
All right.
Right? And then number 4 is a door, and he said like hamburger. Hamburgers are usually a patty, right? So I'm going to take that like a hamburger meat and use the door, and I'm going to slam the door on the hamburger meat to make it flat.
Oh,
it's a ridiculous. So the more you can make the images exaggerated, ridiculous, very visual. If you can make yourself have some feelings with
the more
them,
memorable they become.
they can become more sticky. There's
Okay,
lots of things more to stick into your mind. So we're going to take that raw hamburger meat and we're going to slam it into the door, right? So just picture that and feel it. Feel like what you would feel if you were actually doing that. Okay. Number 5, you said.
Clean up on aisle 2.
Exactly. That's such a cleanup. That was going to take a while. Ruffles potato chips for number 5. So 5 is a hive. So I picture like a hive of bees. They're very active, and all of the bees are hungry. They want to eat something, and they're looking around for something that they, as bees, can carry back to the hive, maybe to their queen bee, and they see this bag of potato chips, and it's open, so they can, in groups, they can carry potato chips up to the hive to feed their queen bee, because she's all important, right? They have to keep the queen alive. So picture that, and the potato chips have those classic ruffles that are in the name, like they're using those to grab onto that, and then just really picture that in your mind. That's really important. That's the key step. And then number 6, 6 is sticks. Sticks, like a bunch of sticks. So we have dish detergent here. Our sticks that we just plucked out of the earth, perhaps from one of those trees, to also remind us of the trees, but there's some sticks in the ground, and they're filthy.
Yeah.
They've got lots of dirt and grime on them, and we're going to take those, and we're going to put them in some dish detergent in the sink, and we're going to clean off the sticks. We're cleaning up nature, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
All right, we are cleaning up nature. It's ridiculous to clean sticks with dish detergent, but that's why we're doing it.
Right.
It's going to be sticky in our mind. All right, so remember that 6 sticks and the dish detergent. Then 7. 7 is heaven. It just rhymes, 7 heaven.
Okay, so this one's easy.
Okay, do you want to share your visualization?
Feta cheese is just absolutely the most heavenly of the cheeses.
All right, it's a heavenly of the cheeses. Okay, great. And how can we visualize that? How would you visualize that now?
Okay, well, everyone knows the mythological Greek gods that were born in and created the heavens and the earth, and feta cheese is Greek. And so I'm going to think about the Greek gods in heaven who created this heavenly cheese.
Okay.
Feta.
So and like what are they? So there's has to be a visual component. Let's say we have clouds like up in the wherever the Greek gods are.
Right. So yes,
right? We see
Zeus
the
created
clouds.
the clouds.
We see all these like probably very muscular Greek gods.
Yes.
They're probably at least the top of their bodies are probably naked, or maybe they have togas on or something like that. I don't know. I might be mixing cultures. I'm a little off there. I didn't do my research on Greek gods this morning, and they are feta cheese really kind of breaks up into little pieces. That's kind of something that's very characteristic of feta cheese. So there's really strong Greek gods, and they have little pieces of like feta cheese, and they're showing off their great strength by like squeezing the cheese together and it's breaking up and breaking apart.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, so it's just visualize that. All right, and then number 8. 8 is a gate. Now I know I had used 4 as a door, but gate I picture as like a gate that has like multiple slats in it, like those like a picket fence or something like that, or maybe it's a metal gate, and you can see through a gate often, not always, but in my mind you can. And you've got an item I'm not familiar with, which is lavender syrup.
Yeah.
So
for
tell
fancy
me, can you
people.
describe your super fancy lavender syrup?
For
it's not dissimilar to pancake syrup, but it is a little bit purplish in nature. And if I might steal from you a little bit, like the gate that you can see through, it's a physical barrier, but you can see through it, right? This syrup is thick, but it's translucent.
Okay.
And so once it's on that feta cheese, you can still see through it. But it provides that barrier between you and the cheese.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, so it's the gate to heaven. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
all right, great.
it
It's a gate to heaven, and I hope
There
that
you
this
go.
lavender syrup goes well with feta
Oh, it
cheese,
is
because
delicious.
otherwise the
It is
gods
so
will be
good.
angry. So I'm gonna say let's go with that white picket fence, that classic,
Yeah.
American fantasy of the white picket fence home. Some of you might even live in such a home, and we're gonna take that purple syrup and pour it over the. Actually, we're gonna have it coming out of the gate, because
Okay.
we have to have the gate. We have to have the thing
Okay.
that is our already known thing, which in this case is the gate, taking the action.
Okay.
Sometimes
I see.
I even will make the mistake of having the thing that is new take the action, but we're going to use the thing that's already in our mind
Okay.
to take the action, because that's how our mind is going to work.
All right, so
We're
I'm going to
gonna
picture
recall that
gates
thing.
with
So-
slats that are a little bit tighter than a chain link, so that it can hold back that syrup until we open it up.
Yeah,
And
when,
then
yeah.
that
When you
gate-
open
yeah.
up the gate, it pours out that
Yeah.
purple syrup, and it's coating the weight gate, and you can see it clearly. Maybe Prince is going to join us for pancakes,
love it.
lavender,
Come down from
lavender
heaven.
pancakes,
Yeah.
Down from heaven,
right?
yes.
Okay, and he's going to come down from heaven. We're going to rock out.
All right.
And then number 9. So 9 is a vine, and pumpkin spice latte. Wonderful here. It's Sarah, right? So we are going to say the vine is a vine of pumpkins, right? It fits. Sometimes it just fits. You got to be careful of that. So we're going to make them really giant pumpkins. So it's like a Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin, and that vine. And it's, of course, that's the season for pumpkin spice latte. That's the real Starbucks secret. They grow pumpkin spice lattes on giant pumpkin vines for the Great Pumpkin. I don't know if everybody's aware of that, but just visualize that happening, and that's the Starbucks pumpkin spice latte farm.
Okay.
Right. So visualize that in your mind.
All right, got it.
All right. And then the last thing you said, pool floaty at number 10, and that is in the shape of a noodle, like a pool noodle.
Right.
And this one is I already have the image in my mind. It's so weird, but 10 rhyming word is a hen, like a little, like a female chicken, right? So that lays eggs.
Sure.
But in this case, this hen is extremely uncomfortable and clucking up a storm, because it is laying a pool floaty noodle in the pool. So it is in the pool, laying a pool floaty noodle that is coming out of the chicken. It's 10 feet long, as these things typically
Yes.
are, and it's clucking away like crazy, and everybody's looking at
Yeah.
at that chicken.
That
So
hen is a
and
little
make sure
stressed
you
out, yeah.
visualize all that, right?
Got it.
So now, this is our list, and I'm going to turn down the list. And something that I didn't tell you is that we already have, not only we memorized the list, but we know which item is at which number, and which number is for each item.
So
we
not
could
only have
do
we
these-
memorized the list, we've memorized them in order.
We've memorized them at specific locations
Okay.
of numbers.
All right.
So
I like
we
it.
could say them in order. Like, so for example, 1 is the sun. Do you remember what the sun was?
It's the artichoke that it was just almost being caught on fire by the sun,
Right.
and
Right.
blooming open like that flower shape. Yes.
Absolutely.
An
And
artichoke.
2 is a shoe. You had thought of the creamer. Do you
Coffee
want to
creamer,
say the
yeah.
coffee creamer, right?
Yeah.
And
that with your
how about
Exploded.
3? What was
Oh.
number 3 is a tree.
The 6-pack.
6-pack of beer,
Of beer, yeah.
right? And then let's see. I'm going to just jot off, and we don't even have to jot them off visually, like on the list, but we could actually do it in our minds to have the thing poof out of existence, however you would for each of the items.
Yeah.
But we could do an item out of order. Let's say 7 heaven. What was 7 heaven?
That
I
was
forget.
the feta cheese.
The feta cheese, right? And
Absolutely, the
how
Greek
about
gods.
how about number 5? 5 is a hive.
5 is a hive, and see, you talked about bees that were hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I pictured a large Ruffles potato chip with a little bit smaller one going up and actually building a hive. And I know that doesn't attach to your technique as much, but
okay.
yeah, I pictured a beehive. So yeah, it's Ruffles potato chips.
So it's building the hive out of Ruffles?
Yeah.
Potato chips. I like it. It's an edible hive. And it's going to be full of honey.
Best
That's
kind.
going to be maybe a new flavor. We should talk to them
yes.
about this.
Hot honey.
Right? All right, honey. Thank you. So, and then we can also do other things with this. We can say, for example, let's say, what number is hamburger at?
Oh,
So just picture
that's
the
right.
thing
We
about
were
hamburger
smashing
and what number.
hamburgers with the door, making
what
a
is-
mess. That's number
what does
4.
door rhyme with? It rhymes with number 4.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
All right.
we can do all these things. And I do
Love
this as a
this.
typical everyday exercise every day when I'm going to go to the grocery store, or building my list in my mind when I want to go to the
Things to
grocery
do
store.
or whatever,
So
yeah.
we could do number 10. Do you remember what number 10 is?
Number 10 was a hen, an extremely uncomfortable hen that was giving birth, if you will, to this 10-foot pool noodle.
Absolutely. So
Yes.
pool noodle. And let's say number, 8. Did we do gate? How about
Gate. Okay, yeah, I remember.
was
Gate
Gate?
was it was a crazy connection, but it was the lavender syrup.
Yes, the lavender syrup.
Something about
right?
Prince. Yeah.
Right? It's purple because it's purple. And let's see, number 9 was the vine, and that's for you.
That was the giant pumpkins growing on the vine for.
But what's the
pumpkin-
grocery item?
Pumpkin spice latte.
The pumpkin spice latte. That's how they make them. And then let's see, 7 we did heaven already. We did about 6. Oh, we need sticks.
Oh, sticks. Those dirty sticks out in the yard needed to be washed with Jen's laundry detergent.
Detergent.
Right, is a dish detergent. I think.
Oh, was
we
it
said.
dish
Did we say?
detergent?
Did we specify? Yeah, dish detergent. That's why.
Darn it, I got the
visualized-
wrong soap.
Visualized in
Close
the sink.
enough.
That's
Oh,
okay.
man, I
It wasn't
told
that
you I was good at
specific,
this.
but in the sink. And
can use either one.
5 hive we already did. 4 door. We did the whole list already,
did.
right? Right.
We did.
Absolutely.
And
Tree, tree.
We only got the wrong kind of soap. That was it.
That's it. Absolutely. And if you knew what kind of items you needed anyway, you would be able to recall that.
Sure.
And the more you add the specificity of the thing, most people would be think that that's not how memory works. Like, oh no, there's too much detail I need to memorize. No, the more you make it specific, when you add on things,
Yeah.
that kind of comes along for the ride with association. It makes it more specific that you can lock it into your mind.
All right. So whether it's learning to improve your memory, something as practical as that, or something as freaky as you appearing to control the body parts of audience members, these are all different things that folks can enjoy at the Gray Area, which opens up on October 3rd,
Yes.
right here in downtown Newhall at the Main, which is extremely coincidental, or maybe not, because that's their website where folks can get tickets.
At themain.org.
Themain.org, and that's at themain.org. Get your tickets. Show opens October 3rd, and you're just in for a real treat. You're not going to want to miss this one. And I've got one more question for you.
Sure.
Alan, do you have any older siblings?
I have one younger sibling.
Oh, okay. So you were the older brother, so perhaps you're not as familiar with my plight as the younger sibling. You know, I'm not allowed to have nice things of my own. And so Mom makes me share my radio show with my stupid big brother.
Oh,
And
okay.
So, yeah. So he calls in and he's got trivia questions. He's got some fun facts. He's got, every once in a while, he's got some life advice that you will want to forget as quickly as
good.
you hear them.
That's kind of some of the best advice.
But perhaps, I don't know if it works over the phone, but maybe, do you think you could hypnotize my big brother so that he's not quite so annoying?
Well, you know, I read minds, I don't improve them.
Uh-oh, Big T, you're in trouble. He reads minds, but he can't improve them.
Thanks to
Fantastic.
Bob for that line.
So he does have trivia questions. Are you able to stick around for a few minutes and play with us?
Absolutely, that would be fun.
All right, fantastic. We've got Allen Gittelson, Mentalist. His show opens October 3rd at the Main in downtown Newhall. You can get your tickets at themain.org. We've got Engineer Jen, Engineer Andrew here in the studio along with Alan and Big T. Call in. Let's see what we can do in terms of trivia. You stick around. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am Matt Watson. This is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS. Welcome back. You are listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVi and iLead School's Eye on the Valley, and I am your host, Matt Watson. We have had an absolutely amazing show this morning. That's about to stop here in just a second, but it has been a phenomenal show. We were joined this morning by Shirelle Gonzalez. She is the college counselor at Empower Generations. Charter High School on Avenue 10 West. I was seeing a W, and I'm like, no, it's not on Avenue W.
You got it.
Avenue
Picture a
10
tree
West
with abs.
in Lancaster. Thank you, Shirelle, for joining us. We just had an amazing couple of breaks with Allen Gittelson, Mentalist, and he's boggled my mind. Allen Gittelson's show, The Gray Area, opens October 3rd here at the Main in downtown Newhall. You can get your tickets at themain.org. Check him out. He'll boggle your mind. But here's somebody else that's going to completely boggle your mind for totally different reasons. It is time for Big T's 5 Minutes of Fame. Y'all know Big T. He is an executive and a philanthropist. He's an amazing father, husband, and dog dad. He's also the human version of an unsaved Word document. Here he is, everybody. He's Mom's favorite. Big T, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Matty. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, brother?
Good. Very interesting show this morning.
It was very interesting, and we've got Allen here, and I was hoping that he could hypnotize you.
That would be fun. How would anybody know that I was hypnotized, though?
Oh, that's a good
I'm all by
point.
myself in my office.
Right, and we won't know if it's you clucking like a chicken or if it's that chicken that's shooting out the pool noodle. Yeah.
I've been accused of being hypnotized before, most of the time by either mom or my wife.
Yeah, right.
There's no other logical explanation to my behavior.
Exactly.
Well, the wives can exhibit a form of mind control, too.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, but we call that something else. Yeah, definitely. So, T, do you have a fun fact for us? Do you have life advice, or are we going to get straight to the trivia?
No, I have a little bit of life advice, and most of the time I'm giving life advice to, the Gen Xers like myself, but I've got a little bit of life advice for the Gen Zers. Us Gen Xers, we like to play with them a little bit and throw our age around, and, at weddings we like to poke that 18 to 22-year-old kid next to us going, ha-ha, you're next. Well, Gen Zers, just flip the table and do that to us at funerals.
Not nice.
Also, some fun for the Gen Zers. When you're visiting your grandparents, you don't really have to leave the room to pass gas. I mean, everybody's going to think it's Grandpa that broke wind anyways.
Well, it's because it usually is, Tony.
Salty today.
Right.
Was that you, Dad?
Yeah, right, exactly. I don't know. Maybe it was.
So George Carlin said you always blame it on the dog.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That's part of what they're for.
Exactly. No, I'm ready for some trivia, Maddie. You want to set it up?
Yeah, definitely. So Tony has trivia questions, and so what we'll do, the impulse is just to shout out the answer. But since Tony's on the phone, he can't tell who's answering. You need to hit your buzzer so that he knows.
Okay.
You have not been provided a buzzer. What we do is we just call out our name.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so we'll go Jen, Andrew, Allen, and then my buzzer says Frogger for whatever reason. No one knows why.
Okay.
So you hit your buzzer, call out your name, and then Tony will recognize you, and then you you give your answer. The folks at home, they have a significant advantage. They don't have to hit their buzzer; they can just call out the answer. So they get the advantage to see if they can beat us. But Alan, you've only been here about a half an hour, and you seem like a pretty smart guy. I don't know that our listeners are going to be able to beat you.
Well, thank you very much, but we'll see how I do. There's, some trivia. I have a lot of trivia embedded in my mind, but it might not be the same trivia as Big T.
That is always the key.
Because he's already given us some life advice we should forget about.
Stay away from, yes. All right, and you know what? Sometimes he has the correct answers to his trivia questions, too, which is always an added bonus.
Remarkable.
Yes. All right, T, let's do it.
The key to Big T's trivia, just answer the questions you know. That's all.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect. What Major League Baseball team currently leads all of Major League Baseball with 96 wins?
Frogger.
Frogger.
I'm going to go with the Seattle Mariners.
Incorrect.
Darn.
Ooh, nope. I was going to go with not the Phillies.
I definitely don't know
going.
anything about baseball or not current baseball statistics or teams or anything like that.
It's the Milwaukee Brewers.
The Mill Brewery Walkers, yeah.
Wow. What battle lost by the French on June 18th, 1855
Frogger.
would be referenced in the lyrics? Who was that, Frogger?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going Waterloo.
Waterloo is correct. It was referenced in the title of what ABBA song? Which 1990s film about two slacker rock musicians, music fans with a basement TV show started out
Andrew.
as Saturday Night Live? Yeah, Andrew.
Wayne's World.
Party on, Garth.
Excellent.
That's right.
Who was the first player in the WNBA to dunk in a game?
Oh,
Andrew.
Jen.
Frogger.
Andrew.
Lisa Leslie.
Lisa Leslie's correct.
Was it
Nice
really?
call, Andrew.
I thought for sure it would have been Cheryl Miller.
Yep.
All right.
No, Lisa Leslie. Who was the first Disney princess to have a tattoo?
Oh, Andrew.
Wow.
Andrew.
Moana.
Incorrect.
Frogger.
Frogger.
I'm going to go Pocahontas. That minx.
Pocahontas is correct.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Although Cinderella did have that tramp stamp, but
She
yeah.
did, yeah. Of a castle.
You never showed it, though.
Right.
What's the name of the ice cream shop that Steve and Robin worked at in Stranger Things?
Jen.
Jen.
Scoops Ahoy.
Scoops Ahoy's correct. Nice pull.
Nice.
What sports team is Will Smith a part owner of?
Oh. Frogger.
Think where he's from. Frogger.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, I pivoted. I'm going to go the Philadelphia Flyers.
Incorrect.
Nuts.
Will Smith is not a big hockey fan, Frogger.
Yeah.
Andrew, the
Go ahead, Andrew.
76ers.
Philadelphia 76ers is correct. What did the acronym GTL stand for in MTV's Jersey Shore?
Jen. I'm not proud that I know this. I never watched the show. I just absorbed it over social
Yeah,
media
no.
and
That's a
pop
guilty
culture.
pleasure.
No disclaimer needed.
all right. It's okay.
That would be Jersey
Just looking for
Shore.
an answer, Jim.
No,
Jersey Shore.
No.
No, what does
What
it
did it
stand
stand for?
Oh, Jim Tan Laundry.
that's right.
Oh.
I'm hearing this now for the first time. I didn't know these things.
Two.
What high school subject did Walter White teach in Breaking
Frog.
Bad?
Jen.
Oh, Alan.
Alan, go
I
for
heard
it.
Frogger.
We're going to give it to Alan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's chemistry.
Yeah.
Chemistry's correct. What song did Katy Perry sing during her brief flight to space in April of 2025?
Jen.
Oh.
Jen.
Firework?
Frogger.
Incorrect.
Oh.
You're a little
Frogger?
proud that you knew that one.
What a wonderful world.
What a Wonderful World is correct.
God, yeah.
Katy Perry is my favorite astronaut. We got time for two more, Tony.
Perfect. What is Scrappy Doo's relationship to
Frogger.
Scooby-Doo? Frogger.
Scooby is his uncle.
Yes, Scrappy is his nephew.
Yes.
What do the following celebrities have in common? Tom Cruise, John Travolta, and Elizabeth Moss.
Frogger.
Andrew.
Frogger?
Are they all Scientologists?
That is correct.
All righty. And with that one, I do have to go, Big T. Thanks for stopping by. We also want to thank our guest, high school counselor Shirelle Gonzalez with Empower Generations Charter High School. You can find more information at empowergenerations.org. Mentalist Allen Gittelson. His show opens October 3rd at the Main here in downtown Newhall. You can get your tickets at themain.org. Thank you, producer Sarah, engineer Andrew, engineer Jen, and thank you for listening. Remember, friends, life is hard, but we're all here to help each other along. Be well, do good, and tune in next Friday and every Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. I am Matt Watson, and this is SCVi and iLead Schools Eye on the Valley on your hometown station, KHTS.